my name is Sarah, and welcome to Discover Point Online. We are so glad you were able to connect with us today. We want you to be able to take your next step in your walk with Jesus, no matter what that looks like. As you watch, if you have any questions about today's message, our church, upcoming events, or maybe you have a prayer request, we invite you to send us a message through our website at discoverpointchurch.com/connect. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, here's the message.
Christmas, everybody. That's pretty good for the 10:30 service. All right, so let's be honest with each other for just a minute. Who's still waiting on an Amazon package to be delivered? Now, the real truth, who still has to order that Amazon package? Yep, today's the day, guys. You don't do it today, don't expect it to get here, okay? But no, thank you all so much for being here. I heard something about today was Ugly Christmas Sweater Day. When I walked out and got ready this morning, my wife told me, hey, today's Ugly Christmas Sweater Day. I said, that's all good and well, and I'm sure a lot of people will do that, but I'd rather wear this sweater instead. So I'm just going to wear this one, and I'm not doing the ugly sweater thing. So I appreciate those of you that participated in that. I've seen a few flashing ones, some jingly ones, some inappropriate ones. But hey, whatever you want to wear, that's fine. We're glad you're here. But thank you all so much for being here. I do see a lot of new faces out there today, and I know Christmas is often a time that people come to church just because, maybe it just feels like the right thing to do. Maybe somebody invited you. Maybe I invited you. I tend to beg people to come to church when I know that I'm going to be speaking to kind of pad the numbers a little bit, so if you're one of those, thanks for being here. But no, in all seriousness, I want to acknowledge the fact that there are some of you probably here today that church just isn't really your thing. You're here because someone wanted you here. Maybe it just felt like the right thing to do. But for whatever reason, this God thing, this Jesus thing, it's just not you. And you're here to kind of support or whatever. But whatever your reason, whether you've had a bad church experience in the past and you've walked away from the church, whether you've never been a part of it, maybe somebody in church hurt you and you walked away from them, whatever your reason, thank you for being back here today. And I want to ask a favor of you this morning, though. Whether you've been here forever, whether it's your first time here, whatever your reason, this morning, if you would, let's just agree to have an open mind together. Maybe if we could just approach it this morning from an attitude of, what if this is real? What if this story of a baby in a manger and all this miraculous stuff really is real? So can we be honest with ourselves for the next 30, 45 minutes, hour and 15, whatever it takes me to finish up here, to just have an open mind and to say, okay, I'm going to listen. And even though I don't believe it, I'm going to approach it as if I do. And I want to thank you all for being here, and hopefully we can all agree to do that. Because this week we're wrapping up our series that we've been in. In the last 3 weeks, we've had a really cool sermon series we've had some really impactful, strong, hard-hitting, truth-filled messages. And if you haven't been here for those, I would encourage you to go back and watch them online or view them online. You can do that through the app or online or however you want to. But I would encourage you to do that. But this week, we wrap up our message series. Our message series called... Good job. Y'all are on point today. I appreciate that. Yeah, His name will be. And the series has been wrapped around the verse in Isaiah. It's a prophetic verse where Isaiah spoke about the birth of Jesus Christ. Nearly 700 or 800 years before he was even born. And Israel was in a time of just feeling like they had been forgotten by God. And maybe there wasn't even a God, the way that some of us probably feel today. And Isaiah said to the Israelites, he said, For a child is born to us. A son is given to us. The government will rest on his shoulders, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, and today, Prince of Peace. And it goes on to say, I love it, goes on to say, his government and its peace will never end. See, it's a never-ending peace. And what better topic to talk about during the Christmas season and on Christmas Sunday than peace, right? Because isn't that what Christmas is? It's a season of peace where everything just calms down and we have nothing to do and we all just get to sit around and enjoy our comfort and time just slows down, right? Don't we all wish? That's what we feel like. That's what we wish for. That's what we want. But the Christmas season is probably one of the least peaceful seasons we actually have, even though all over the town you see the word peace and every other song has the word peace in it. And it's supposed to be a season of peace, but what it really is a season of, hey, let's go to 19 different holiday parties and 3 more school events to get through before we can finally be out of school where we can work extra hours and go shopping and work those extra hours to earn more money so we can afford those gifts that we still can't really afford, and then we shop late to buy those gifts that we shouldn't have bought to begin with. And it's so peaceful because then we get to take our kids to all these holiday events with family where they give gifts to their cousins and friends and nieces and nephews, and what do? They gripe because they have to give a gift to somebody that they really wanted to get, right? And so what do? We teach our kids it's better to give than to receive. Who's ever heard that when they were a kid, right? Yeah, who's ever said it as a parent? The first time you say that, it's like, oh, I did that. I said it. I heard it. I've heard it so many times. But we do. We try and teach our kids during this time, you know what? It's better to give than to receive. But let's be honest, that doesn't make the craziness and the chaos go away. And it doesn't make things slow down. But the season that we wish for peace and that we talk about peace so much is one of the least peaceful seasons around. This time of year is, what we call seasonal depression. People that don't typically suffer from depression may deal with depression. People that deal with depression cycle back into it. And it's a real thing. And it's no secret that study after study has shown that there are record levels of anxiety and depression in young children, school-aged children. Like when I was in school, it was don't chew gum. And these days in school, is my classmate going to bring a gun? So there's so much that brings us anxiousness and takes away and tries to steal that peace. And we have trouble finding it. And oftentimes, we create our own chaos without even trying. Me personally, I tend to somehow be a glutton for chaos and just create situations that should be peaceful but aren't. So for example, a couple weeks ago, my wife showed me a picture on a cell phone and said, hey, can we create this? And so that little display that you may or may not have seen the past couple weeks when you walk right into the auditorium that has the signs that say, Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Prince of Peace, Everlasting Father, has those on there. She sent me a picture and said, hey, can we make this together for the church? And I said, oh, sure, no problem. Great little husband and wife thing to do together, right? That sounds peaceful. So I said, yeah, we can do that, no problem. And so just a couple sticks, a couple pipes, tubes, we'll put it all together. So we had everything good to go at home. And my wife, bless her heart, she lives by the mindset of, why put off till tomorrow what you can do today? Makes sense, right? Well, they say opposites attract. I live by the mindset of, why do today what you can put off till tomorrow? We were going to be at church on Sunday anyway. So I said, no, it's simple, it's easy. We'll just put it together on Sunday. She came to me Saturday afternoon and said, would you be annoyed if... And now, let's pause right there. If you got to start the question, would you be annoyed if? You probably know the answer, right? But in my most peaceful, loving way, I said, it's just a couple sticks and pipes. Everything's cut, everything's painted, everything's ready to go. It's like a puzzle. We're going to put it together. And I said the 4 magic words. Nothing can go wrong. Oh, the collective groan. That's one of those 4-letter phrases that belongs in the 4-letter phrases of things like, hey, y'all, watch this. Or, here, hold my beer. They're things that you probably just shouldn't say. But I said it anyway. And so fast forward to Sunday morning, sure enough, we get here. We're plenty early enough. We're putting everything together, and I'm sliding the white pipes through the red post, and everything's looking great. And suddenly I look down and I'm like, that's not big enough, and it's not going to work. So being the smart guy I am, I slid all the sharp objects away from my wife, and I said, hey, babe, I said, I've cut these posts too short and the poles too short, and it's not going to work. And being the loving, peaceful wife that she is, she said, and turned the color of the red wall. And I said, it's okay. It's okay. I've got a plan. I can make this work. All I got to do is run to Lowe's. It's about to open. I can buy all the stuff that I already have at home because, hey, nothing can go wrong. Why bring it with you to fix it, right? So I went to the store. I got everything I needed. I came back. I got everything fixed in time with 7 minutes to spare. And, hey, y'all don't know the difference because y'all don't get to church on time anyway. And the 9 o'clock's worse than y'all. Y'all got here on time this week. I appreciate that. But, hey, we joke around, and I know that was some self-inflicted chaos. But let's be honest. Not all chaos feels self-inflicted. Not all stress feels self-inflicted. But no matter what the stress is, we're constantly searching and looking for something to bring us peace, to take away that stress. And what are some of the things that bring us stress in life? We've got so many things that weigh us down. And what do we do with those things? We take them on into our life and our identity. And we say, you know what? My work is getting a little bit stressful, but I can bear this. I can carry this around, no problem. And, money problems. Nobody has money problems, especially this time of year, right? So I know y'all don't really relate to that one. But our work, that everybody's boss is happy and cheerful this time of year, right? But maybe one of y'all can relate to your relationships. Man, it got oddly quiet in here for that one. But that's what happens. All these things in our life, and let's be honest, you may be in church, but we all are addicted to something. We're all addicted to something. And what we do is we take these things and we fill our life with these things. And they begin to weigh us down. And, I realized during the 9 o'clock this was a horrible sermon illustration because it's really heavy up here. But we take all these things and we fill them in our life and we say, I can manage that. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let's throw a few more things in there. Time management. That's an easy one. That's not stressful at all. So we'll just top everything off with time management, right? Good to go. We close it up in our lives and we throw it, oh my gosh. We throw it on our back. And we walk around with it. And it begins to weigh us down. So we search for, okay, what can bring me peace in this life? Where can I find, these relationships that are killing me, this addiction? And we hop from job to job. We work later hours. We change from one toxic relationship to another, and it doesn't go away. It just changes. That was real. It just changes what weighs us down. And we think, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to create an atmosphere of peace in my life. And there's so many ways that we can do that. Sometimes we seek counseling or we seek therapy, and surely that can create peace in my life. And listen, I'm not at all trying to talk down on anybody that's in counseling or any sort of therapy, because those things are real. But we try and create a situation of peace so that we can just lay it at somebody else's feet and say, here, you take care of it. Or I'm just going to walk away from it all. Maybe vacation. Everybody needs a vacation every now and then, right? So what do? We go on vacation. We leave all the worries of the world sort of behind. And we think about it while we're on vacation still. So it's not completely peaceful. And what does everybody say when they get back from vacation? Man, I need a vacation from my vacation. So the stress is still there. So you can't create that peace in your life. We try so hard to create it, but then when we get back, we say, I feel so much better. I'll just pick it all back up. Oh my gosh. And be good to go. But again, it weighs us down. I'm going to break a sweat up here in a minute. I'm going to preach the noon with pit stains and stuff. But we try so hard to create an atmosphere of peace in our life. And if you've ever tried it, you know you can't. Maybe temporarily, maybe for a short period of time, you can create some sort of peace. But the reality is, it comes right back. And it floods right back in because we didn't do anything to really change anything. So we decided, okay, you know what? All this stuff, it's real. I can't make it go away. I can't create peace. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to earn peace. I'm going to do, maybe I'm the problem. Maybe if I just work a little bit harder. Yeah, so I'll curl these things. I can do like 2 of these. So we try and earn peace. We do things to please people because, well, I must be the one that's the problem. Anybody ever heard of the grocery bag challenge? Probably not. I made it up. But everything else is a challenge these days. I thought maybe somebody would nod and say yes, they'd heard of that one. But I can promise you, if you're a man in this room that's ever had a woman in your life, you know the grocery bag challenge. Here's the way it goes, and this is a true story. It happened a couple weeks ago in my house. The wife comes home from grocery shopping where she probably spent $450 on groceries, and she comes in and says, hey, can you guys unload the back of the car? And so me and the kids, we pile out into the garage where the car is backed in, and we raise the back, and I assess the situation, and I say, kids, back inside. I got this one. And so what do? I piled every single bag on one arm, and maybe a few on the other. But, you know, you're piling them all in. This is a one-trip, 522-bag grocery trip, right? So I piled them all on one arm, and I drug myself into the house, something a little bit like this. And then when I get to the corner where Trish is, I kind of straighten up, and I walk around the corner, and I say, hey, babe, you want the groceries on the counter or on the floor? You want them on the counter or on the floor? Boom. And there I am piled in the groceries on the floor, and she says as she finishes her text, huh, what? You know, oh. And I joke around, but let's be honest, if my wife was impressed by muscles, I'm the wrong guy, okay? But we do that in some way or another. We think, okay, if I can just impress my boss by working some more hours, if I can just get that next promotion, I'll be able to impress my family because I've got more money. But we become even more and more disconnected. If I can just kick this one addiction, then the relationship I'm already in, then they'll be able to relate to me more, and our relationship will all fix. But the harder and harder we try, the more we curl it, the more we lift it, the more we carry it, we realize it's a burden that I just can't carry on my own. See, peace, real, true peace, it's not something that you're going to find. It's not something that you're going to earn. It's not something that we're going to create. See, real peace comes from a source outside of ourselves. Okay, and those pit stains are starting, so I'm just going to go ahead and put this down right here. But listen, I know some of y'all right now are probably beginning to think, okay, I came to church for a happy little encouraging joy to the world Christmas story, right? I mean, this is like the most depressing church service I've ever been in, and I would begin to agree with you. So let's do this. We're here for Christmas, right? We're here for the joy of the world. We want to hear the story of Christmas, so I'll give it to you. But you've probably all heard it many, many times. So we're going to go through it kind of quick. About 2,000 years ago, an angel came to a young lady named Mary and said, hey, you're going to have a baby. And Mary said, nope, not possible because I'm a virgin. Now, time out right there for a second. That's an important word in this story. But if you don't know what it means, ask your parents. I'm not opening that can of worms. But Mary said to the angel, she said, I can't have a baby. I'm a virgin. And the angel said, yes, you can, Mary. It's from God. And Mary realized, I'm arguing with an angel. I'm going to lose this battle. So she said, okay, whatever your will is, let's make it happen. And so about 9 months later, Mary and her husband-to-be, Joseph, are working their way towards Bethlehem, where they've been told they got to go for the census. But Mary, she's like 9 months pregnant at this point, so they're running a little bit behind pace, and they get to Bethlehem a little bit later than everybody else, and the hotels are all full, and there's no room in the inn. And so the heartless hotel keeper sees the 9-month pregnant lady and says, you know what, I got a barn out back you can stay in. So they say, okay, we'll take it. Anything we got, we'll take it. So later that night, they're kind of trying to rest from their journey, and Mary goes, woo! And Joseph looks over at Mary and goes, oh, dear Lord, it's time. Let's do this. So Mary, right there in a barn, in a stable, has a baby. But this baby is no ordinary baby. See, this is a baby that made the angels sing, that made the angels rejoice, because the angels knew that this was no ordinary child. This baby was God, the creator of the wind and waves, came to earth to be with me and to be with you, to have a relationship with every single one of us. Now, this baby, he knew that 2,000 years ago, he would never meet me and you face to face. He knew that he was going to have to do things to prove himself that he was truly God. So this creator of the wind and the waves came to earth as a baby. But through the course of life, he proved himself to be the wonderful Counselor, the mighty God, the everlasting Father, and the Prince of Peace. See, through his time on earth, this baby, he knew that the hill that he created called Golgotha would have an important place in history. This baby knew that the day a tiny little seedling broke ground, that it was going to grow into a mighty tree that would be carved into a cross one day. And this baby knew that that hill and that cross were going to meet one day so that he could say, I love you, and I want a relationship, because this baby knew that you and I were going to create a chaos in our life that could not be fixed by you and me. See, God sent his Son in the form of a man named Jesus so that you and I could have a relationship. But this baby and this God knew what you and I teach our kids every Christmas, that it's better to give than to receive. Because he could have come to earth and said, okay, now do this, 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 and this, and this, and this, and you'll fix everything. But he knew that we would never be able to do what it took to fix the chaos that we had created in our own lives. So he said to me and to you and to his disciples here on earth, shortly before he left, he said, I'm leaving you with a gift. A gift, not I'm leaving you with a checklist, not I'm leaving you with a bunch of tasks, a bunch of to-dos. I'm leaving you with a gift. And the special thing about a gift is that you don't have to earn it. As a matter of fact, you can't earn it. The special thing about a gift is you can't create it. And the special thing about a gift is that through all your searching, you'll never find it because it's given to you. And Jesus said, I'm leaving you with a gift, peace of mind and heart. And the peace I give is a gift the world cannot give. So don't be troubled or afraid. In all your searching, in all your trying, in all your failures, and everything that makes you feel worthless, I'm going to give you a gift. And guess what? Jesus said, all that stuff you're carrying around, let me carry it for you. Let me make it easy. Let me take those burdens from you. But listen, let's be clear. It's all still here. Jesus didn't say, I've come to change your entire circumstances and make life a breeze. Because if everything changed and God just gave us, and Jesus just gave us everything that we wanted, where would there be faith? There's no peace in being able to do it ourselves. There's no peace in just being able to say, hey, this is what I want now. Jesus said, he even said, in this world, you will have trouble. In your relationships, you will have trouble. But peace I give you as a gift. In other words, people are going to let you down. You're going to let people down. You know why? Because we're humans. And we can't fix it ourselves. And now I know some of you are probably looking at this bag and being like, it had wheels on it the whole time. Why didn't he just roll it around? And you know what I'd say to you? Your peace has been available the whole time. All you have to do is take that gift. Because God also told us, all of us have sinned and fallen short of his glory. All of us have created, whether intentional or not, we have all created a stress in our lives that we can't fix. And the wages of sin is death. But what? The gift of God is eternal life. Through a relationship with the one that came to bring us peace, the gift of God is eternal life. You see, in all the trying, all the searching, all the seeking, you're not going to be able to do it. And it seems so weird and so unbelievable to say, what do you mean I can still have all these things in my life and still have a peace? That just makes no sense because nothing went away. And you're right. Peace is not an absence of pain. Peace is not even necessarily a change in our circumstance. Peace is the ability to have a confidence that you have a God that will take care of it for you. And Paul, a man that made his debut in the Bible as somebody that hated all things Christian, his job, literally, his job was to destroy and kill everything to do with the name of Jesus. But through a series of events and circumstances, he was changed and became one of the strongest leaders of the early church, one of the largest developers of the early church. And that man, Paul, said in a letter to the Philippians, he said, don't worry about your life. He said, don't worry about anything for that matter. Easier said than done, right? So if I'm not worrying about it, what am I supposed to do? He said, instead, pray about everything. Not pray about the easy things. Not pray when the going gets tough. Pray about everything and even thank him for the things that he has done. So tell God what you need and thank him for the things that he has done. And then you will earn the peace of God. Right? Isn't that what it says? No. Then you will find that, no. Then you will experience the peace of God. You see, peace is not something that we find. Peace is not something that's pursued. It is a gift that's given, that you experience. The peace will guard your hearts and minds as you live in Christ Jesus. That baby that was born in a manger, that came to change the course of history and change the course of time 2,000 years ago, knowing that you nor I would meet him face to face on this earth, wants to give you a gift. And the greatest gift that you will ever receive, even if you truly believe that it's better to give than to receive, humble yourself for one moment and allow yourself to receive the greatest gift that was ever given. The gift of Jesus. The gift of a relationship with Jesus is the best gift that you will ever receive. But here's the crazy thing. It's a gift that you don't understand. God's word itself says the peace that passes all understanding. It's so hard to think, if I didn't make it, if I didn't earn it, if I didn't create it, then how can I have it? It doesn't matter. And I'll tell you, I sometimes don't understand it. But I will tell you this, in my own personal life, when I barely had 2 nickels to rub together and was wondering where in the world I was going to get the money to be able to pay my next bills, I somehow was able to have a peace in the middle of that because I knew I had a God that was going to bring me through it. When my wife came to me one day and said, I'm ready to be done with this relationship, I don't think I can do it anymore. I said, God, the world said, nah, you should retaliate. You should be angry. You should be scared for your life. And I said, no, I trust in a God that brings me peace. When my mom was in the middle of a botched surgery that led to an organ transplant and looked like she may not even make it through, the world said, you need to be angry at these doctors. You need to sue them for everything they're worth. And I said, no, I'm trusting in the God of peace. And I may not know the outcome. I may not have any control of the outcome, but I can trust and receive that gift that was given to me. And I can count on that to be my peace. So today I want to ask you, where does your peace come from? Where are you trying to find your peace? The greatest gift of all has ever been given. And though you may never meet him, he still wants a relationship with you. So as our band comes back up and we get ready to end our time, I want to do something that I don't normally do. I want to just ask everybody to just close your eyes, bow your head if you want to. Preferably don't take a nap, but if that's where it leads you, so be it. But I do want to ask you this. Just like at the beginning of our time today, I said, be honest with yourself. Be open-minded and say, what if this is real? What if this thing they call God, this baby really did come in a manger? What if it's real? Have I chosen to have that relationship? Have I accepted that gift of peace? Have I experienced that gift of peace? And with everybody's eyes closed, I want to talk to 3 separate groups this morning. The first group is that one that never has truly decided to have that relationship with God. That's never openly said, you know what, I want to have a relationship with the God. I know that my chaos has been created by my sin. And even if my situation doesn't change, I want to experience that peace. If you're in here this morning and you've never begun a relationship with Jesus Christ, would you just be willing to raise your hand this morning and say, that's something that I'm interested in. Maybe I should step out in faith and have a relationship with God. If you've never done that, would you just be willing to boldly raise your hand? Thank you for those of you that have your hands up. I know that can be hard. I know it can be awkward. The second group I want to talk to is one that we honestly don't really address a whole lot in church because we just want to talk you into things sometimes. But there's probably some people in here that they may even acknowledge, yeah, I need that relationship. Yeah, God probably is real. Yeah, maybe he did send his son on this earth to bring me peace, but it's not for me. I don't believe it. I don't trust it. I'm not going to take that step of faith. If you're in here this morning and willing to be honest enough to say, that's me. Maybe it's real. Maybe you think it's real, but it's not for me. Would you be willing to raise your hand? And that's probably a harder one than the first one. To say that, you know what? It's just not for me. Thank you. The last group I want to address is probably honestly the majority of us. If you're in here today and you do trust God and you have entered into that relationship with Jesus Christ, that eternal relationship with him, but you've just never really experienced peace in life. Or maybe you're just going through a season that is not a peaceful season right now. But you can be honest enough to say, man, I want to be able to give up that control. I want to experience that peace that you're talking about. Would you just be willing to raise your hand and say, yeah, that's me. I need some peace in my life. Thank you all. I want to give every group a challenge this morning. If you raised your hand and said, I need to enter into that relationship with Jesus, would you, when the band starts to play again and the music starts, would you just be willing to take that really uncomfortable, bold, possibly even embarrassing step and start down here and just come visit with one of our faith coaches and say, I need somebody to pray with me. I need somebody to show me what it means to have that relationship with that God that can offer me that peace. I just want to challenge you when the music starts to step out and come down. If you're one of the ones that said, it's just not for me, I want to challenge you to do the same thing. come down, talk to one of our faith coaches, and here's my promise to you. We're not going to try and talk you into anything. We're not going to debate with you. We're not going to tell you you're wrong. We do just want to give you a gift of a small book that just helps you understand a little bit more about what we believe and why we believe it to be so true. But if you're in that last group, the one that just says, I need peace in my life. I don't feel a peace, and I wish I had peace in my life. I just challenge you to come down here and line this stage on your knees, standing on your feet, whatever you want to do, and just pray to the God of peace, the Prince of Peace, the one that brings it as a gift, and say, God, allow me to experience that peace. Help me to release control of my life and to trust in you for that peace that passes anything I can understand. If that was you, just come down and pray to him. Father God, I thank you so much that your promises are real. That even though there are times in life where it just seems like you've walked away from me more than I've walked away from you, I know and I can believe that you're still here. And God, I just pray that you forgive us for our selfishness, for our controlling nature, because God, I know that's me. I know I try and do so many things on my own and only turn to you when things get bad. God, I just thank you for the peace that you offer in our lives. And God, I pray today that if there is anybody in this room that acknowledges that they need a relationship with you, that they will be willing to step out in a small step of faith to experience that for the first time this morning. And for those of us that believe in you, God, thank you for your peace that passes all understanding when we trust in you. It's in your name that we pray. Amen.
We hope this message connected with you today. If so, we want to help you take a next step by answering any questions you may have or by praying for you today. Let us know how we can help by sending us a message through our website at discoverpointchurch.com/connect. If you would like to help support the ministry of Discover Point, you can give online at discoverpointchurch.com/give. Be sure to stay connected with us through social media to stay up to date with everything going on here at Discover Point. We hope you have a great day.